I've done an audio test and an unboxing on both of these mics, and I got curious because they're extremely similar. This one, the Neewer NW-800, sounds much better. It needs less amplification, it needs less noise reduction, and the overall, just the output of this mic without a phantom power unit sounds much better than this one. I have to put so much amplification and noise reduction on this mic that when I speak, you can hear the noise behind my voice. This one, I don't have to put on nearly as much amplification. I can get away with just 20 decibels in Windows, and I don't have to put noise suppression on this one to make the noise low enough that it's not disturbing the audio as much. So I got curious to see what the actual differences in these two are. So we're going to take a look at that today and open these guys up and see what the difference is. So let's get that started. We'll open them up and find out what kind of screws we need. So I'm pretty sure we just screw this end off here. I'm going to start actually with the Zingyou one. Okay, so here's the electronics in the Zingyou. I'm not sure if we'll be able to tell any of those part numbers or anything like that. The camera's fully zoomed in. Let's see if we can get any closer here. Work. Okay, and it looks like we need 2 Phillips screws. Okay, and this should just come out of here. And here's our condenser mic. I'll have to check the wiring and see if that is correct. Okay, so from what I can tell, it is wired correctly. We can see we've got our 3 pins. This is the shield. We've got our hot, and the centers are cold. And this one's grounded to the casing with the little wire soldered in between. So that looks okay. So this is the condenser mic. Doesn't look like anything special. Okay, so let's open up the NW-800 and we'll take a look at what that one looks like. And I'm betting it's going to be pretty similar. Okay, and so this is the mic shield. Let me turn on a light here. We can see what kind of okay, so this one, the light comes through pretty good. Take a look at the other one, because I did notice the NW-800 did let less light pass through. So let's take a look at this one. So this bottom piece on this one seems a little thicker. Okay, so side by side, let's take a look. They look extremely similar. Yeah, there's a couple missing components off of this one. Not missing, but they have spots to add components here, maybe some resistors or capacitors or something like that. but it looks like for the most part they are identical. Let me, I'm gonna take off this piece and then I'll do a close-up of those. We'll take a look at the see, this one has a lot more foam. We'll take a look at that in a second. I want to look at these two. So the BM-800 has 700, 800 printed on it. But other than that, this is the BM-800 here, and this is the NW-700. So the differences that I can see is that the NW-700 here has some positions for some extra components. These two are the same. This one's just fitted, tilted over. This one has more traces here, I guess, for these additional components. Down here, so the BM-800, it looks like though all the components kind of match, so I don't see why these would sound any different. This is a much better sounding mic, so maybe the actual condenser microphone is much better. Just trying to compare. Like, although the traces are slightly different, like this trace goes direct to there and this one kind of takes a little detour, they both accomplish the same path. So I don't see any components on here that are really any different. Maybe someone that's better at electronics could let me know. I'm going to see if I can get up closer in zoom. So this is the Neewer NW-800 and this is the BM-800 mic. So on the Neewer I can see a couple of spots where there might be some extra components. Maybe that's for an upgraded mic. But all the values for all of these components seem to be the same, and they all seem to be in the same order. So 1 UF, 1 UF, 10K, 10K, 223, 223, 47, 47, 150K, 150K. I don't see any difference in the component layout or the trace layout that would cause these mics to sound different, and a lot of the components even look like they are the same component, like they're not different quality or anything. So I can only conclude that it is actually the mic itself, the condenser mic, on the NW-800 being better. They look exactly the same though. Even the rears of them. We'll have to take a look at possibly the capacitors. So this one is yeah, they're the same brand capacitor. These ones look a little bit bigger on the BM-800. So this capacitor here is a little bit different than this capacitor. So maybe that's what is accounting for the change in audio quality between the two. So you can see that this one and this one are the same. This one is a little bit bigger and is an 0520 than this one, which is an 0320, which is matching this one here. So if all the components are identical except for the capacitor, then maybe that's what's causing the difference in audio capture between these two mics. They cost almost exactly the same. I think they're both $23 or $24 if you buy them standalone. So I personally like the audio out of this one. This is the NW-800. This is the BM-800. This one sounds a little higher and tinier and needs a lot more amplification to sound good. It needs a lot of noise suppression and a lot of amplification to sound good. This one needs a very little amount of amplification, 20 decibels in the Microsoft microphone properties through Windows works well with this one. So that's the difference between them. Not a whole lot. They're both wired pretty similarly. Exactly the same, though wires might be, no, wires are the same color too. Actually, no, the green goes in the center, but I don't think that makes a difference. The black one on this one leads that goes to the center or to this side over here comes to this solder point, and the green one that goes to the same side comes to this solder point. So wire and color doesn't really matter. So there you have it. Let's get these back together. And you've heard the audio test in the last video. So this is what's inside a low cost condenser mic. What we'll do is we'll do the light test on this. So a lot less light is coming through that than this guy. And we can see that inside this one it's got also a yellow foam padding, and this one has pretty much nothing. It's just the wide mesh and then a much thinner mesh behind that. This one has the same two meshes, a thick mesh and a very fine mesh, and then also a foam padding on the inside. I don't think that has anything to do with accounting for the audio. This is just going to be a better pop filter or wind filter on top of it. So let's assemble our BM-800. The notch here. So there's a little notch. So we can see there's a little notch here so that it lines up at the front of the condenser mic here. There's a small notch right here. And that's the front of the actual condenser mic, so you're not speaking into the back. And you can see that with the front of the mic pointing at you. So you have this text here. So let's put it back together. Pretty simple construction. So that's what it comes down to, it looks like. The better audio capture of the Neewer mic, the NW-800, looks like it comes down to a capacitor and possibly a better condenser mic, even though they looked identical. Thanks for watching, and I hope you got something out of this. Buy this mic, not this one.